can march ahead. To teach, to have financial inclusion in the country, we have to do a lot of exercise with the RBI. In fact, PN Pandikar Foundation, with the support of the Reserve Bank of India, had organized many training programs and many skill development programs also in having financial literacy. And in Kottayam district foundation, the Kottayam is the number was the first literate district town of the world during 70s. And now we also experimented with the support of the uh, Ministry of Science and Ministry of IT, Ministry of IT. At that time, the minister was Mr. Alphonse Kannanthanan, and he only led us in Kottayam. We introduced this functional financial literacy and made everybody literate in that area, the town area. And the collector was supposed to give an issuance certificate. Then we went to the collector. The collector said, Balgopalji, how can I know that all the small merchants, small tiny shop, including panwalas, how I can certify that you have taken care of all these people? Then I said, you go to the field and check it up and then issue a certificate. Then he was forced to take on the orange market in the town of the Kottayam city. And the orange wala, he went, he went as an ordinary man without any paraphernalia of the collector. And he asked for 1 kilo of orange. Then the orange wala gave him 1 kilo of orange in the packed cover. Then he made a drama. Oh, I forgot to take the purse. I'm sorry. Then the orange wala said, sir, you give me by payment, a digital payment through my mobile on a phone or through some other source. Then he took out his mobile phone and passed the payment to this orange wala. Then orange wala said, I received it. Thank you very much. Then the collector was amazed. He came to me. He embraced me and said that the P.N. Panikar Foundation could reach the real unreached in popularizing the financial literacy. In this background, I'm inviting our Dr. Vijay Kumar ji. He is a laborer by profession. He is one of the stalwarts in library science. He was the professor of library science at the Kerala University, later HOD, later he was the chief of the library science of the Kerala University. Not only that, he presents papers on library science and its development and its innovative character throughout the India in all the most of the universities as guest lecturer. And Mr. Dr. Vijay Kumar is a family man of P.N. Panikar Foundation because he conducts our quiz program for the last 10 years. So every time I used to trouble him also. He used to come and give the lead in all digital library movement along with the Dr. Vignesh also. So I welcome him to this webinar arranged on financial literacy because his subject is library science, but he preferred to have financial literacy to be discussed today. I welcome Sri Dr. Vijay Kumar ji to start this webinar. Welcome, Vijay Kumar ji.
Sir, welcome.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Vignesh, yes.
Yeah, thank you, Vignesh. It's a long time.
Yes, yeah, a really long time.
Okay.
Yes, sir, you can go ahead.
Good morning, one and all. And I'm extremely happy to be associated with the P.N. Panikar Foundation. As was mentioned earlier, I had an association of more than a decade with various activities of P.N. Panikkar Foundation. And first of all, I congratulate P.N. Panikkar Foundation for converting this reading day week. It was reading day week, and then it was converted into reading day month celebrations for the last 3 years, and that too at the national level. And that's why I said I congratulate the P.N. Panikkar Foundation. Sri P.N. Panikkar, as all of you know, was the father of public library movement in Kerala. He was also, you can also say that he was the father of literacy movement in Kerala. And he started the library activities, public library activities in right earnest in 1945 when he founded the Travancore Granthanshala Sangham. And that paved the way for a number of libraries, and that resulted in designating Kerala as the land of libraries. Perhaps you may be knowing that Kerala has more than 8,500 public libraries. That means we have roughly 1,000 panchayats, and on an average, every panchayat has got 8 libraries. You may be pleased to know that. And the entire credit goes to Sri P.N. Panikkar, his untiring efforts. And I'm also happy that his son, Sri Balagopal, is taking up the responsibility. If the father was concentrating on spreading literacy, the son has taken up e-literacy. That is the order of the day. And as all of you know, information literacy, or for that matter, digital literacy, has become very much essential in the modern era. And he has championed the cause of spreading e-literacy throughout the country. And that too, not confined to Kerala, but throughout the country. And I congratulate him on his vision and the untiring efforts, because he leaves no stone unturned in getting the projects or in spreading the message throughout the country. And since he's concentrating on digital literacy, the ultimate aim of this spreading digital literacy is social inclusion. Social inclusion, perhaps you may be aware, cannot be done without financial inclusion. That means financial inclusion is an integral part of social inclusion. That is why I have chosen the topic financial inclusion or financial literacy as the topic for my discussion, and that too from a particular point of view of children, because all of you know that these habits, that is the financial literacy, has to be imparted to the students at the very young age. Then only it will linger till the end. And now let us pass on to my topic of discussion, that is financial literacy for children. So, financial literacy for children. Okay. Now, let us see what is financial literacy. We are very much familiar with the term literacy. It's a term too familiar to all of us. But when it comes to financial literacy, we lag behind. This is true of not only Kerala or India, but almost all countries, including the so-called developed countries like United States. Now, let us see what is financial literacy. Financial literacy refers to the knowledge required for managing personal finance. Now, that means financial literacy encompasses an understanding of, first, how to manage money. Secondly, how to minimize the financial risks, because so many risks are involved in handling finance, and how to minimize or how to avoid financial risks. And then how to derive long-term benefits of savings. Savings is one of the fundamental aspects of financial literacy. Now, how to derive long-term benefits out of the savings and
So
how
sorry to
to
intervene.
credit. Yes, please.
Sir, your presentation is not visible properly. Maybe you want to click on the full slide view. Go to
Yeah,
slideshow, sir.
full slide is there. It is
But
there.
that we are not able to see the full slide. It's only the half slide. So go to the slideshow, sir, again, if you could. Slideshow. From current slide. Kindly click on it, sir.
Yes. Is it
Unfortunately,
visible now?
no, it's not. Just wait for a moment and then we will
Yeah.
see. Otherwise, you can come to the bottom, sir. You will be seeing this screen icon there at the bottom.
Okay. And screen. Yeah.
No, not the screen. So in the presentation slide itself, you will be seeing at the bottom there is a full screen view option.
That is forward, backward.
Anyway, sir, so you may want to keep moving the slides. At least we will be able to see the. So now you are in slide number 2, or which slide, sir?
I think it is 3.
Acha. So I think here it's showing fourth slide. So you may want to.
No, 4. It is 4th slide, including the title slide.
Okay, sir. Okay. So you can go ahead, sir. Please, sorry to.
Is it fully visible now?
It's visible, but still the left side pan is showing, but it's okay. I think we're able to see it.
Okay. So can I proceed?
Yes, sir, please.
Or should I start again? Hello?
Go to view and see if there is a problem there. Go to the view on the top, right top corner. Or one person saying press F5. So just try with F5, sir.
Is it visible now?
No, I think you can go ahead, sir. It's fine. I think seems to be fine. Slide is visible, sir. You can go ahead.
So I was just explaining what are all the nuances or what are all the things coming under the purview of financial literacy. That is, it teaches people how to manage money, how to minimize financial risks, how to derive long-term benefits of savings, and how to use credit facilities responsibility. Here, I want to emphasize the term responsibly. Why it is so important? Because everybody is fond of credits. If loans are available, people are very keen to have them. But when the question of repayment comes, people shy away. That is why I said you have to be responsible. You have to take credits to the extent of repayment. Then, personal financial literacy encompasses a range of money topics from everyday skills such as writing a checkbook, because that is one of the fundamental things of how to write a checkbook. What are all the things to be remembered while writing a checkbook? Because regulations are there, there should not be any overwriting or things like that. And that also end up with the long-term planning for retirement and how to sustain in the old age. It's a fact that while literacy, that is the ability to read and write and do arithmetic, is part of the educational system, financial literacy is left out. It is not at all included in the curriculum. Now, let us examine why financial literacy has become important. The first reason is that awareness on the need to save and insure should start early in life. Then only people that will linger throughout the life. Most importantly, it should begin at school stage so as to make the children aware of the important concept at the most impressionable age. Perhaps you may remember that school education stage is the most impressionable age in the life of a child. This enables them to start saving and ensuring at a much younger age. Here, two aspects I have mentioned. One is saving. They have to start this habit of saving, as well as they have to ensure themselves. Therefore, it is imperative that just as we learn the basic concepts of mathematics, physics, history, science, other social science subjects, language, etc., at the school, financial awareness and education should also be made as part of the school curriculum. There are many people who argue that matters should be included, money matters, that is, personal financial matters should be included in the school curriculum. But it has not been accepted. It has not gained wide acceptance so far. And for the time being, in its absence, parents have to assume the responsibility of primary educators as far as money matters are concerned. You can't insist on the school teachers to teach money matters. So parents are the first educators as far as money matters are concerned. In my talk, I will be laying what parents should do in order to teach these lessons. This will lay down a strong foundation for lifelong financial competence of the children. However, many parents avoid talking to kids about money matters because they themselves lack the confidence. Because many feel that we are sustaining somehow, we are leading a hand-to-mouth existence, and what is there to teach our children? So that lack of confidence prevents many of the parents to impart these instructions to the children. But there are some other compelling reasons why children should be made to understand the concepts of income, expenditure, and savings. These are the three important pillars of financial literacy: income, expenditure, and savings. People should be made to understand what each stands for. Like other provocative topics I need not describe you. There are so many provocative topics as far as adulthood is concerned, or as far as children are concerned. And of that, money is something that kids will hear much about outside the home. Perhaps you may think, what is wrong if they hear about money matters outside the home? But there are certain dangers that I will come to, because they may hear about money matters at school or at camps, maybe NCC camps or some other national social camps or sports practices. They may hear about in friends' houses. They may also hear about money matters in excursion trips, because in excursion trips, people are very fond of spending money for purchase, etc. So we may think that what is the danger in that? This may appear harmless at first hand, but kids are likely to obtain misleading messages about money when they hear about it from outside. For example, your child might hear that a classmate saying that the rich people are lucky. That may be a plain statement by one of the classmates. Rich people are lucky. And what is wrong with that? If the child believes that wealth is a result of luck, his motivation to earn money is likely to be lost. Because luck doesn't favor me. That is why I am still poor now. That thinking may creep into their brains. It is important to clarify at a young age that most wealth is not the result of luck. It is not out of luck, but out of hard work and out of the smart decisions to become rich. It is not enough that you do hard work in order to make money, but you have to make smart decisions to become rich or in order to sustain yourself. Now, what are the things to be introduced to children at the most impressionable age? 5 aspects I am going to deal with. The first thing is about money, and then how to earn money. And the third aspect is what is the difference between needs and wants. And the fourth aspect is savings, and then some alternative saving schemes. These are the 5 aspects which I am going to deal with now in today's presentation. And now let us examine them one by one. What is to be taught about money? You know, at a very young stage, say 3 or 4 years, point out to the child that money is available in different shapes and formats. Perhaps they may at 3 or 4, they may not tear off the notes, if at all they are handed over to them. And you have to tell them that most countries have 2 forms of money. One is coins that are made of metals, and bills that are made from paper. And perhaps some countries also make plastic currency. And India may also, in the near future, go for the plastic currency because they are more enduring, more durable than the paper currency. It is helpful for children to see all the different coins and notes so that they can compare the size, shapes, and colors. They can recognize, they can identify, they can distinguish the various sizes, various shapes, and various colors. Learning the names and values of each coin and notes needs practice. Say, it is necessary to simply explain to very young children that each coin and note is worth a simple a certain amount of money. That means each coin has got its own denomination. Say, what is the value of 1 rupee coin, 2 rupee coin, 10 rupee coin, or 5 rupee coin, or 100 rupee coin, 100 rupee note, etc. So these are the things to be taught at the age of 3 or 4. Now, how to earn money? You have to tell them how to earn money. Little kids not only know the sources of, they only know that the sources of getting money are, one, the wallet of the parents. They might have seen money coming out of the wallet of the parents. And secondly, the ATM machine. And they also might have seen money coming out of ATM machine. So they think that these are the two sources of getting money. So they have to be told that money has to be earned first. And now the question comes, how to earn money? Explain that most adults do have a job so that they can earn money, which is called income. The money earned by doing something, by doing a job, is called income. This has to be instilled into their minds. They have to be told that some people get paid a certain amount of money for each hour of work or each day's work, which is otherwise known as wage, or get a fixed amount of money no matter how many hours they work, which is otherwise known as the salary. They have to be told about what is meant by wage, what is meant by salary, and these are the two methods by means of which you can earn money. Now, they have to be also told that you can't simply earn money. Different skills are needed for each job. And people have to often choose a job. It can be a short-term employment or a career. That is the term for long-term employment. Career, say government jobs, career. Based on their interests, qualifications, and skills. You have to prevail upon them that if you want to earn money and if you want to get a job, you have to possess certain qualifications and certain skills. And there should also be interest in doing that job. They can also be told as to the methods to acquire the skills, how to acquire the skills and experience to earn money. They have to be told that.
Sir, sorry to intervene. I think though you are changing the slides, we are not able to see the slides. So can you stop this share and then restart it again, sir?
Okay. Is it visible now?
Kindly move to the next slide and see if it's okay.
Okay.
Okay. So come to the bottom, sir. Bottom right, you'll be seeing.
This is full screen. Okay. Even now it is not visible.
Now it's showing why financial literacy. Are you on the same slide, sir?
Why financial literacy? Yes.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it's visible, sir.
Okay. Full screen is visible or?
No, it's not the full screen. So can you give it to hand it over to Rajesh, sir? I will just ask him to do it.
Rajesh. Okay. Just I was.
Rajesh?
Yes, Vignesh.
So kindly make it full screen. This presentation is not full screen.
Actually, it's full screen only.
Okay. Kindly go to the view on the top and see if it's which
Yeah,
view.
it's yeah. Actually, it's on full screen only, Vignesh.
But we are able to see only the panned one. So go to on the top. No, you see
Yeah.
this slideshow review and view.
I just stopped it and let me just take it 1 second. Okay, I'm just sharing the screen. Share screen and just select the slideshow. Okay.
No, no, don't select this. Choose on the screen. First option, first to left to top.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Okay. No problem. Now it's okay. Can you see it, right?
No, now the intent. Yes, now it's visible. You can go ahead.
Okay. It's on full screen, right?
Yes, now it's full screen.
Okay. No problem. I hand it over to sir.
Okay, sure.
Is it changing now?
Yes, sir. It's working now. You can go ahead.
Okay. Say, for example, they have to be told as to how to acquire money. And in order to acquire money, you have to acquire the skills. Then only you will get a job. And only by doing a job, um, you can acquire money. As part of that, the parent has to explain what his or her job is, whether they are working in a private firm or whether they are working in a government firm or somewhere else, so that how money is paid to them by the employer, whether that is credited to the bank or whether that is given as cash or something like that. And then once kids understand that people have to earn money, they may be interested in learning how to earn by themselves, whether they are also able to earn money like this. And most children, perhaps you may know, have a lot of respect and affection for their own money rather than the money of the parents. For example, a child might insist on buying a toy if it is your money. They will be stubborn if to get the toy if it is if you are spending from your pocket. But on the other hand, they might go without it if it involves their money. That is uh, uh, that is quite common among children. Now let us examine what is the difference between needs and wants. This has to be prevailed upon them. They have to be told what exactly is the need and what is meant by wants. And they have to be made to understand the difference between them. Say, we have to understand that needs are things that we must have in order to survive. That means if you want to lead a meaningful life, you have to fulfill the essential needs. These are the essential necessities which cannot be avoided. Say, for example, nutritious food, clothing, shelter, medicines, etc., belong to this category. We can't go without it. On the other hand, wants are things that we would like to have, but they are not absolutely necessary for survival. You may need them, but not absolutely necessary. Even without them, you can lead a normal life. Say, examples are costly vehicles, jewels, air conditioners, video games, etc. Then, while some needs and wants like air, daylight, freedom to move around are available free, much of them involve a cost. They have to be told that everything involves a cost. Even though we feel that we are getting free air to breathe and we get daylight free of cost and we can move around freely without any expenditure as part of that. But at, uh, uh, a time may come soon when we have to pay for the air because or we also have to pay the daylight because governments are finding new avenues for taxation, and days are not far off when we will be made to pay for air, daylight, everything. Tell them that there isn't no such thing as a free lunch. That is an adage. That is something like a proverb. There is no such thing as a free lunch. Children should be told about that. For everything you have to pay. If you are not paying, somebody else will be paying for that. That's why I said there is no such thing as a free lunch. The children should be made to learn the difference between need and want. Now, the clear demarcation between needs and wants is a little bit confusing. For example, though food and transportation are essential for survival, we have to think, should we go for costly at the same time junk foods? Should we spend more and have junk foods instead of essential foods? Similarly, possession of a vehicle may be necessary, but we have to think, should we possess the costliest cars in the name of more comfort? It's a fact that the more costly the cars are, they will give more comfort. But we should think whether we should go for the costliest cars, spending more money. Here, the children should be made to understand the concept of affordability. Here, I stress the concept of affordability. That means they should be made aware of the dangers if the borderline between the need and want is not clearly demarcated. They have to understand. They have to be prevailed upon them how to limit their expenditure to the income. Say, children should be made to understand that the income is limited, but the wants can be stretched to any extent. In order to make them understand this, they can be told about the total income of the family. You have to be frank enough to discuss with them. It is always better to discuss with the children about the family income and what percentage of money is required for meeting the essential needs. We have seen that the essential needs are the food, clothing, shelter, medicines, etc. And what percentage you are spending now out of your income for each of these needs. Then you have to prevail upon them what percentage of the total can be allotted to each item, like food, clothing, shelter, travel, education, etc. in the family budget. And as I mentioned earlier, many people or many parents are reluctant to discuss with the family, money matters with their children because they may not be preparing a budget at all. They may be getting money and they may be spending without preparing a budget. This is fundamental. It is fundamental that every family should have a budget, and children should also be made to understand the need for preparing a budget. And they also have to be told about the concept of price variation and the quality of goods and services. Now, what is meant by price variation? There may be more items with different prices, and the quality may also vary. Say, sometimes you may get very good quality goods for less money. So that children have to be made aware of this. You will get better goods for less pay or less money. So that is what is meant by price variation and the quality of goods and services. This enables them to make judicious choices to save your money. Then let us pass on to the fourth concept, that is savings. When children are about 10 years, they may be in the 5th standard, they can be taught about what is meant by savings and how it can be made. Then they can be told what short-term and long-term goals are. They have to be introduced to the different goals in life and how to earmark savings for each category. Say, for example, you may be opting for higher education. If you want to do your higher education, you have to save some money for that purpose. So children should be then, if you want employment also, or if you want to construct a house of their own, they have to save something for that. That is how you can prevail upon them. Then they can be told about the different avenues of saving available for children, like post office saving schemes in banks, the merits of zero balance accounts offered by banks, etc. Zero balance accounts are being promoted by our present Prime Minister. Zero, as the very name indicates, you can start your account without spending any money. And many operations can be done by making use of these accounts. And they have to be told that you can start accounts in post offices, you can start accounts in banks, and accounts, post offices, banks, etc. They should be encouraged to have a piggy bank. Perhaps most of you might have seen a piggy bank, something like a toy wherein you can put small coins or small notes for small savings and to appreciate the miracle of compounding. I very well remember when we were school children, banks used to approach the schools in order to promote this Piggy Bank scheme, so that when that is full, you can hand it over to the bank and that will be credited to your account. And they have to be told about the wonderful growth of savings over a period of time. That is the effect of compounding. This is very essential as far as savings are concerned. Compounding. And perhaps by this time they may be taught about what is meant by simple interest and what is meant by compound interest, how compound interest multiplies the money, etc. So they can very well understand. That is why I have mentioned that by about 10 years you have to introduce these concepts. What is meant by savings, etc. What is the difference between what is meant by compounding, etc. It is helpful to take your child to a nearby bank so that they can have a view of the bank, who are the staff members who work there, how people make use of the various facilities of the bank, who is the manager, or what are all the other staff, and how can you transact business in a bank, etc. Also discuss with them the different ways of earning money. Say, for example, they have to be told that they may be getting birthday gifts from parents or from relatives, and they have to be told to conserve them, save them. Then they may be getting monetary incentives like scholarships from schools or from some other academies, or they may be getting money for doing odd jobs. Perhaps you may give as an incentive for doing some certain jobs at home, and they have to be told that they have to conserve the money so that they can be converted into savings. And in addition to the post office saving schemes and bank saving schemes, there are other saving schemes which are quite rewarding. Once they are familiar with the saving schemes in banks and post offices, it is time to introduce alternative schemes with good returns like mutual funds, debentures, etc. Perhaps you may think that that is something hard, but still, once they are interested, they will learn by themselves what is meant by mutual funds and what is meant by debentures. It is also important to speak of debt schemes like bank fixed deposits, what we call FDs. What is meant by Public Provident Fund, otherwise known as PPF. Then what is meant by National Savings Scheme, NSS, and government bonds, etc. These fixed deposits, Public Provident Fund, National Savings Scheme, all can be done in either in post offices or in banks. So if there is a post office nearby, they can be taken there, they can start an account, etc. On the part of the parents, it is also ideal to start a PPF account or a Suganya Samriddhi Yojana. Perhaps you know Suganya Samriddhi Yojana is a very wonderful scheme aimed at girl children. You have to start a PPF account or a Suganya Samriddhi Yojana in the name of a child, since these schemes are with long tenure. If you are very systematic in saving money, it will grow into a huge sum after 20 years or 25 years. They have to be encouraged to start the savings at an early age. Now, these are some of the things that you have to teach your children at the while they are in the school. Now, coming to the conclusion, money is an alluring topic, irrespective of the age. It is very attractive, whether it is a child or whether it is a youth or an old man. It is a very attractive proposition. Experience would show that children are all the more eager to learn the concepts. And once you teach them systematically, they will develop an interest in getting to know more about financial matters. They will develop an inclination for personal finance. It is better to inculcate the saving habit in them from a very young age. This is what I wanted to stress. That habit has to be inculcated in them from a very young age. And once it is inculcated at a very young age, it will never die down. There is a well-known saying that it will linger with them till the graveyard. That is why I stress the importance of inculcating the habit at the impressionable age. Various studies have shown that people who are financially illiterate tend to accumulate less wealth, borrow more, and are less likely to invest. The opposite is the case with people who are financially literate. They try to accumulate more wealth. They will depend upon borrowing money, and they will not they will be very keen on making investments, especially long-term investments, which have got the advantage of compounding. It will grow into huge sums in future. And now the government has also come out in a big way to inculcate these principles in the minds of different categories of people. Many agencies of Government of India are offering financial literacy services for the benefit of the citizens, including children. Two examples are Securities and Exchange Board of India, otherwise known as SEBI. And people have to be people should be knowing security. What is meant by SEBI? What is the role played by them? They are the regulators as far as financial matters are concerned. And there is another agency called the Reserve Bank of India. And while introducing the coins and the notes, you have to tell them that these notes are printed by Reserve Bank of India, except the rupee 1 note in India. All other coins and all other notes are printed by Reserve Bank of India. Reserve Bank of India offers some literacy education. And now let us examine what are all the topics covered by the course offered by SEBI. They concentrate on financial education for school children, which I was just giving a hint. Then there is also programs meant for college students, for homemakers, all of you may be knowing, housewives and others. Then there are programs meant for executives, how to make money out of that, how to invest profitably in shares, etc. Then some programs are meant for middle income group people and financial planning for retired people. This is very important. Say, for example, financial planning is very important for retired people. Say, for example, they may not have a steady income and they have to save as much as possible when at the earning stage so that they can spend it lavishly. So all this financial planning for retired people will tell them how to make a corpus for the retired life. Then, as I told you, Reserve Bank of India also has started financial education initiatives. And they aim at the dissemination of information regarding the central bank, that is about Reserve Bank of India, what are all their functions. And they also introduce the general banking concepts to various target groups, including school and college going children. That is also focused, aimed at women, rural and urban poor, defense personnel, and senior citizens. They have also schemes. They also introduce schemes meant for senior citizens so that they can have a precious life after retirement. Their presentation is mainly through picture stories. That is the attraction of the Reserve Bank of India education. Picture stories which are likely to attract children. And I'm also giving a website through which you can get it, get the information. That is http www.rbi.org. And there is a separate link for financial education, and that will be quite rewarding to go through that. The site of SEBI and the site of Reserve Bank of India. And this is what I wanted to share with you today. And if there is any clarification needed, I'm ready to do it. Thank you very much for listening me, for paying attention to my talk. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, sir. That was a wonderful session. So participants, if you have questions, kindly put it in the chat window. We would be able to pass it on to the Dr. KP Vijaykumar, who would be responding to your questions. And the feedback form will be shared after the question and answer session is over. So kindly be patient. Sir, I have a question.
Yes, please.
So, like in this part of this globe, so we see girl children as a liability. So, is there a solution or a scheme through which the government of India, as well as the government of respective state governments, has any plans, or is there any schemes that looks at girl children as an asset rather than a liability? So, is there anything that you want to share from your experience or from the government?
Okay. That is one of the best initiatives, is, as I have mentioned, that Suganya Samriddhi Yojana. Okay, so that even those who are earning a little, if you can spare 100 rupees per month, that will grow out to be a huge sum after 21 years, because the money can be withdrawn only after 21 years, or rather after 18 years of saving, then only you can go for it, for the higher education or for the marriage of the girl child. Then, of course, there are umpteen number of scholarships offered by different ministries, especially meant for girl children. There are so many scholarships, especially, say, for example, I was head of the department in the University of Kerala, and I very well remember single girl child, those who are, they are picked up and given special incentives, and the government will take care of that. Say, for example, considerable amount of money, say at the rate of 2,000 rupees per month or something like that. That is a fellowship. And then as far as the marginalized people are concerned, especially the OBC, other backward class community people, there are special schemes. That is about the government of India, and the state governments also offer such programs. I can only speak from the point of view of government of Kerala, and especially they are aimed at OBC, that is backward class people. Different types of scholarships are offered by the government of Kerala. So it must be true of many of the state governments. And in fact, say, I need not say about reservations and other aspects. They are given, women's colleges are there, or skill development programs are there, because the government of Kerala, as far as I know, has gone on a bigger scale to offer skills, to impart skills to girls, so that they can earn a livelihood. Perhaps you might have heard about some of the initiatives in Kerala. It is known as Kudumbashri. It is a women initiative. That means they can put up their labor, and several such initiatives are there, and that is something like a self-help group. And microfinance schemes are also there, aimed at not girls but ladies. So I can only recollect so much for the time being.
Sure.
And you have to explore what are all things that are available. Now, almost all departments have got their own websites, and if you go through them, and as far as possible, these NGOs can very well take it up to make the people aware of the various incentives offered by the different schemes. There are umpteen number of government schemes, but the sad fact is that many of the needy people are not aware of them.
Sure.
Okay.
There is a question from Mr. Rajesh. How can we develop saving skills? If I understand.
How can we develop
the saving skills among the children?
Saving skill? Okay. You have to prevail. This is all my talk was about that. How right from the third year or fourth year of their age, you have to tell them about money. They have to be acquainted with different forms of money, as I have already mentioned. How to distinguish between the different coins and the different notes, what is meant by denomination, and how to get money. And say for example, earlier, banks used to instill school children. They used to target the school children to make piggy bank savings. Say, for example, in Kerala, what we call in Malayalam as kudka. That means something made of this clay. It is something like a vessel. Once you put the money, you can't take it out. You can take it out only after breaking it, once it is full. No, once it is open, there may be hundreds of rupees, and they may be thrilled to see that I have earned so much. So these are all small things by means of which you can attract them. You can draw them to the saving habits.
So one more question, sir. Any scheme for male child?
As far as I know, of course, all the schemes are meant for males, and no special schemes as far as I know, because the governments and the authorities think that they need not they need attention, but the other marginalized groups or the girl children need more attention, because as you have already pointed out, there is a some people don't like girl children, and perhaps you might have heard stories where girl children are killed at the instance of birth, and therefore the government is outrightly in help of the girl children, so that such instances should not occur in a country like us. Okay.
Sure. Uh, yes, sir, I think there are not much questions.
Okay.
Do you want to say a closing remark?
Okay, say for example, my thing was that, I was doing, I was an honorary director of a Center for Information Literacy Studies in the University of Kerala. And I have found that, and I used to take classes for college teachers. Perhaps you might have heard that HRDCs, Human Resource Development Centers, are there as part of the university education, or for college, or for that matter, college education. Say, for example, just to impart the teaching skills to to teachers. And I have, to my horror, I have found that many of the teachers are also not aware of teachers means college teachers and university teachers are well off. They are getting a lot of money, but still many of them are not having any saving habit. Of course, they are getting money and they are spending it lavishly. And that is why I used to focus on the literacy and financial literacy. And I found that there are many takers, and I had the experience of taking many classes for college students also, because people have got a habit that what is the fun in amassing wealth, and some people also, and say for that matter, I should say Indian culture also say that there is no we are not money minded. Some people also will support you. You need not be money minded. You have to spend whatever you get. Of course, you have to spend. I'm not saying that you need not spend, but you have to see, you have to think of life beyond the working years. When you want to take rest, nothing will be left out. And therefore, that is why I wanted to stress on literacy, financial literacy for children. But once that habit is imbibed at a younger age, that will linger in them till the graveyard. So it is the duty of every parent, or for that matter, teachers also. And I feel that school education, this should also be made part of the school education. Something should be taught about that, how to conserve money, what are the saving schemes. And even though I have mentioned about SEBI and Reserve Bank of India, uh, uh, financial literacy programs imparted by them, many people are not aware. They make it as part of their websites, but why do you go to RBI site, or why should you go to SEBI site? And only those who are money minded in the sense that those who are very much interested in conserving money, saving money, they will go through all avenues, and they will be more aware. I told you, say those who are financially illiterate will incur a loss of debt, and that is something, say for example, excruciating at the during the lifetime, because you may not have all the avenues of repaying the debts. And now the banks are also coming in a big way, say with credit cards. And there are people, especially youngsters, who will take credit cards from different banks and spend lavishly by adjusting, taking money from one credit card, they will repay the other thing. But it is something like a gimmick, and in the end up they will end up as bankrupt, and something that will force them to resort to unethical practices. So for that matter, you have to say that, you have to understand that money is essential. Even if some people advise you that money is nothing and relations are good, of course relations are good. You have to worry about the humanity. You have to be considerate to the considerate to your fellow being. But you can be considerate if only you have the means of sharing your love as far as your wealth. This is what I want to share with the audience. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the wonderful session, sir. So with your permission, I will just put the feedback form URL for the participants.
Okay.
Participants, I've just put the feedback form URL in the chat window. So kindly check in the chat window and also in the uh, YouTube channel live session.
Wealth.
So I'm just
This
putting.
is what I want to share with the audience. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for the wonderful session, sir. So So we have entered the feedback form URL in the feedback chat window. So kindly check it from submit it, and then you will be able to see. I can't accept the fact that if 98% of the participants could download the certificate within an hour, why some people are not able to do. In fact, before doing it, even I tried it and it was working. So kindly don't say that you have not downloaded. If you are downloading it after a day, then it may not be available. So kindly download it within today, then you will be able to download it. Thank you so much. And if you have and tomorrow we have a session on reading for the nation's children by Dr. Geeta Malhotra, who is the country head of Read India. So look forward to meeting you tomorrow in that session. Thank you so much. So all the webinars are found in our YouTube channel. So kindly go to this YouTube. I'm just sharing the YouTube URL. There you can view all the webinar recordings. Okay. Thank you so much, all the participants. See, if it shows invalid user, it means you have not registered in that system. See, there are two registration that happens parallelly. One is the registration at the PN Panikar Foundation. First, you have to register yourself there and then submit the feedback. So I'm going to send the feedback registration URL as well. That's why in the invitation itself, we clearly write, kindly register yourself before the webinar. But still, if you don't do it, then come and submit the feedback, then it may not accept you. First, you have to register yourself in the webinar, then you have to. So this is the registration URL for the webinar. First, register yourself in this URL and then submit the feedback. Okay. Thank you so much. You're going to end this webinar now.